Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining us on the SOS-radio.com podcast, all paranormal, all the time. I'm your host into the unknown, Jason Knight, president and founder of Chicago's own Supernatural Occurrence Studies, and I'm here joined by Mr. Joe Erie, member of SOS and Claire Sensitive. How you doing this evening, Joe?
Howdy.
I'm also joined, as always, by my producer extraordinaire, Mr. Oscar Spectir.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Going well, going well. What are you guys up to? What's new?
Well, you go first.
No, you go first.
No, you go first. Oh, my God.
No, nothing much. Last 2 weeks been kind of busy at work. Might as well just get the Mr. Lincoln report out there. This is going on third week. That's been all quiet on the home front. Both me and my daughter haven't experienced anything. So hopefully that'll become a trend.
You know how I work on the northwest side? I used to say, all quiet on the northwestern front. No one gets that joke.
I get it.
Yeah, you get it, of course. You were well-read. But
all quiet on the northwestern front.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Joe, anything
I wish I could say
anything creepy happened to Joe Erie?
Nothing, yeah.
No more crocodiles this week? Good. Stay away from them.
Last episode we got into Joe's near-death experience.
It's 1 week free from damage from crocodiles. Or 2 weeks now?
You're going on 3 weeks now.
3 weeks now, yeah.
Well, technically 4 because he left before we recorded 2 episodes ago, so almost 4 weeks.
Wow. Do you miss the heat?
It was in the high 70s out there. Then it rained.
Oh, it was really cold then.
A day, yeah.
You're disappointed.
I like hot and humid.
They don't even know.
I like the sweat.
A lot of my cousins don't even know what snow looks like. They've never experienced snow, for example.
Wow.
Like a lot of my cousins.
It's snowing in Mexico, right?
No, some northern parts, in the mountains, of course.
Yeah, but everything shifted.
Most of it does
the
not.
Mayans were right, man.
Yeah.
2012.
As we started last show 2 weeks ago, we introduced this thing where I started recommending some other things because I don't experience much, and I still haven't, unfortunately. And when I do, I will gladly replace something else with.
So you will report to us the moment you experience something paranormal otherworldly.
First thing I'm going to do is check my pulse and then record what I went through.
So since you could never really, contribute to the Lincoln report or paranormal happenings over the past 2 weeks, we have decided. You're going to come up with your own little...
last time. I'm just going to review, or not review, but give you a little spiel.
Segment?
A segment, if you will. On something that is relating to what we're trying to do, like supernatural or aliens or government conspiracies or anything of that sort in the form of media, which could be TV shows, movies, or games, anything of that sort, or a great book maybe that covers these subjects in a very fascinating way. And the one I got for you guys this week is a game called Murdered Soul Suspect.
Murdered Soul Suspect.
Soul, but S-O-U-L, not S-O-L-E.
Okay.
And it's about this cop who gets killed, gets murdered, right, obviously, gets shot to death. It's really cool. And the rest of the game is you're his ghost. And you come up out of the ground, kind of like in Ghost, where he thinks he's still alive, but he looks over his body behind him.
Like Patrick Swayze?
Yeah, like Patrick Swayze. And he has to solve his own murder in order to move to heaven, I guess, or whatever. And the whole game... realizes this world where if ghosts exist or how they might exist and how the rules of those of their new reality would work. And it's so cool and fascinating. The way you find clues is through mind reading people, possessing cats, for example.
Wow.
I've done a little bit of that. And you piece clues together to figure out a full story that you realize through this shady version of the same world we're standing in today.
And it's a parallel dimension. You get to play and interact and manipulate that parallel dimension as it goes.
It takes place in Salem, too, which is funny.
Oh, which ties into The Witch, which you covered last
exactly.
episode.
Which I hope everyone has seen by now, by the way.
I have not. I said I would try to get out and lock down a babysitter, and we didn't.
Damn those babysitters.
Joe, have you seen it yet?
No, I think I want to take my kid in.
Okay. He's a little older.
The goat does not get raped, right?
That's what you're worried about?
Edit that out.
I don't want to bring him. If that happens.
So you get to manipulate this shadowy world that sits right next to us, which a lot of people believe actually exists.
Yeah, and you find clues through the remains of people, what they leave behind, whether it's energies or emotions or things from the past. For example, half of Salem is shrouded with not the new buildings, but older buildings that have been replaced, or have not been replaced over the years or whatever. They act as if they're there, congruent with the buildings that are there.
Wow.
It's really cool. Like, there's this building on fire with broken pieces everywhere. Obviously, there was a fire there a long time ago, and that's all you see. But right now, it's just like an apartment building.
That's incredible.
It's really cool.
And what platform is this game on?
I'm playing it on the PS4, but I'm sure it's available on all PC, I'm sure, and Xbox probably.
I'm too poor. I still have an Xbox.
Yeah, but Xbox One, though. I don't know
Yes, I
about
have
Xbox
a
360.
One.
It might be 360. The game is like 2 years old, but I'm getting into it now. And it's fantastic.
And again, the name was?
Murdered Soul Suspect.
Murdered Soul Suspect.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad we came up with a way for you to actually contribute, your own segment. So excellent. Folks, get out there and play it and tell us what you think of it. Oscar, maybe you can invite me over and we could eat Cheetos and play
Now I have to invite you over?
the game.
Yeah, sure, come over.
Cool. Great. So, without further ado, I would love to get into. We're not going to get sidetracked this time, unless. Oh, I got to make mention. Dave Black is still.
Oh, yeah, clearly.
On his harvesting mission.
I should say another harvesting mission.
Yeah. So he's not joining us this evening. Joe, anything to say?
No, actually,
it looked like you were
I
kinda-
want to check. I want to check that game out for my son.
Oh, yeah.
I like it.
There you go.
I didn't know it was for Xbox One too. That's
Is your son?
Probably. I'm
Is he a big?
game
Is he a big gamer?
Oh yeah.
13?
Oh yeah.
13 years
Skateboarding
old.
and video games.
I play a lot of games. Maybe. Oh wait, he only has Xbox. You said?
Yeah.
I only have.
Wii U too, but they're not gonna.
Who has Wii U's? Okay. Nah. Okay.
Isn't it incredible?
I like Wii U.
Isn't it incredible how?
Seems I could actually play.
Wii U is for kids, like toddlers, and like younger kids.
But it's
and,
all like-
and for old people. It's funny how you fit there.
Yeah, man. Super Mario Brothers and stuff.
It's incredible how
vintage games. I
videos
love
came
it.
from
Yeah.
Pac-Man, Super Mario Brothers to stuff like what you just described.
Yeah, and there's some really interesting games out
To
there.
hold on to these remotes, you have to be like quadruple jointed and fingers wrapping behind the remote to press sub buttons of
I know.
buttons. And
I can't keep up with the kids
incredible.
either. Like I play those games sometimes, and like I can't keep up. Like these guys are too fast.
My kid likes to play me because he kicks my ass.
Yeah, of course.
Come on, Dad, let's play. I'm like, dude, no.
This is for making me do homework, Dad.
But he thinks I'm good at Super Mario Brothers.
well, Joe, that means you just have to take them out to the streets and show them how to skateboard. You can take
I
him to
do.
school with
I do.
skateboarding.
Except he wants me to hit handrails again. And
Joe was so you were sponsored back in the
Yeah.
day, weren't you?
Yeah.
About sponsored skateboard. I remember seeing advertisements with you, Ollie and Gaps and things.
It's been a long time, and I mean, I don't know. When it comes to work,
We could get
I
hurt
can't
now is
break an
basically
arm
what
or
could
leg,
happen. I mean,
Yeah,
so you hit like 30 and now
the
you
fear
can
of
get hurt.
breaking bones is more real.
Yeah, I don't want to become something that you guys will hunt. Basically, I want to hang on to this world, teeth and nail, as long as I can.
that
Yeah.
whole the paycheck thing,
Yeah, money, survival.
Yeah.
Dave, what do you
Damn
think
money
about all
stuff.
this?
He's with the fruit police
No, we're
right
supposed to
now.
leave.
No, wait, let's listen. Dave? What do you get? What do you got to say, Dave? Right. Oh, you agree? You agree with what we're saying? That's a first.
That's interesting. Yeah.
When we come back from this short break, we are going to get into my alma mater, as promised, Dominican University, 7900 West Division Street in River Forest, Illinois, the affluent River Forest, Illinois. Again, with this paranormal underlying theme my entire life when I found myself in college. Of course, I enroll and graduate from a haunted college. So I'll talk about that. We'll discuss that right after this.
Now is the only thing that's real. The police used to watch over the people. Now they're watching the people. Now is the only thing that's real.
Nestled among the aging old money manors of River Forest, Illinois, stands a neo-Gothic tribute to religion and education, reminiscent of Hogwarts Academy of Harry Potter fame. Given its collegiate Gothic style by Ralph Adams Cran, Dominican University's gray stone facade, climbing ivy and multi-sectioned glass window panes, engages even the most casual visitor. As a student, it's hard to walk the campus without wondering who else may have paced the very same paths over Dominican's nearly 95-year history, and more importantly, wondering where those travelers are now. As you walk through the time-worn wooden doors of Lewis Hall, You're immediately transported back in time. The lights are dim and the temperature drops noticeably. Marbled walls and religious iconography adorn the corridor bisecting Lewis Hall. Dominican is not your average university. Dominican is an institution found on religion and dedicated to the betterment of its students through a combination of spiritual and academic instruction. Through rigorous disciplines, not only are students prepared to pursue truth, to give compassionate service, and to participate in the creation of a more just and humane world, they also receive a dose of ghostly education as well. Brought to River Forest in Illinois in 1922 by the Sinsinawa Dominican Sisters of the Most Holy Rosary, Dominican University, formerly Rosary College, is home to a surplus of ghostly legends. From Gothic busts that would stare and curse at passers-by, to orbs of light flying to and fro in the enduring woman in white, most DU students and faculty are plenty aware of the spirits supposedly contained within these eerie walls. Let's get acquainted with some of the university's ethereal lore and the more earthly explanations behind them. Legend. There are carved busts above the archways in Social Hall that have had their faces sanded off because their stony, compassionless eyes followed students as they walked by. Other stories claim that the busts actually cursed at people and stuck their tongues out at them. Reality. As Sister Jean Crapo, Dominican University's archivist and professor of English, understands it, the removal of the faces on the busts in Social Hall was done because the busts were very close to everybody in the halls. They were not particularly grotesque, just staring. Other untouched busts can be found outside on the Cloister Walk, the covered walkway overlooking Dominican's Division Street facing courtyard or quad, because they are truly Gothic, and their stares don't affect people outside because they're very far away, she said. Legend. The ominous painting in Social Hall of Andrea del Sarto's Madonna of the Harpies mysteriously fell from where it securely hung. After it was hung once again, people started seeing strange, frightening faces in the painting that weren't there before. It said that the little angels painted at the bottom of the pedestal in the painting developed cloven hooves for feet, reminiscent of the devil himself. Reality. Sister Angelica Dolan replicated Del Sarto's painting in approximately 1903. And it is true that people claim to see faces in the painting, ominous faces, demonic faces. It is easy to explain this phenomenon by invoking simulacra, finding distinct images in random patterns, images that have a shadowy resemblance to something else. Although no one consulted remembers the painting mysteriously falling, the little angels on the pedestal do have cloven hooves for feet. Legend. There is a closed-off room on the 3rd floor of Power Hall where students say a sister, or in some stories it's 2 sisters, hanged herself or themselves. Late at night, disembodied voices, screams, and rustling sounds are heard emanating from the vacant room. Reality. According to Sister Jean Crapo, archivist, there's nothing supernatural about the closed-off room. The supposed closed-off room on 3rd floor Power was never a room at all. It's an architectural fluke. If you just realize that the ceiling of the chapel is raised 2 stories, you can see that this closed-off space is flushed against the chapel ceiling. She said, I'm sure students hear noises coming from that room. Sisters have Mass and prayers several times a day. We sing, the cleaners vacuum, and the organ is played, she said. Robert Badcock, director of Residence Life, agrees that there's nothing supernatural about the troublesome room. I'm not even sure there was a room there, he said. The 3rd and 4th floor of Power are nearly identical when it comes to hall layout, and that room doesn't even exist on the 4th floor. Legend. Sister Candida Lund haunts the Lund Auditorium because she's the one responsible for having it built, and therefore has a deep attachment to it, even after death. When Sister Candida appears, she is said to wear the same white dress she wore in the Broadway play The Sound of Music. Sister Candida is also said to be the source of the orbs of light seen under the stage, as reported throughout the years by stagehands. In reality, Sister Candida was not responsible for constructing Lund Auditorium. Lund Auditorium was built under the direction of Sister Gregory and Sister Peter in 1952. Sister Candida did not come to Dominican, then Rosary College, until many years after. Sister Candida was not in The Sound of Music. It was Sister Gregory who worked as a consultant in conjunction with Mary Martin, the star of The Sound of Music. Martin wanted a real nun to teach the members of the cast how to act, dress, and walk like a real holy woman. Legend. Depending on which story you hear, a sister was either pushed or jumped down an elevator shaft in Power Hall. To this day, people say that they hear the screams of the plummeting sister echoing throughout the dormitory at night. Reality. Although there was a terrible elevator accident in Power Hall, thankfully, according to the story, no one died. The power elevator fell on January 27th, 1945, said Sister Jean Crapo, archivist. Sister Rosemary Crepeau had just returned from a trip and was taking the elevator to the third floor when it plunged to the basement. The safety device didn't work. However, the fall was not fatal, but Sister did suffer many broken bones. Even though many of the rumors can supposedly be dispelled, students are not deterred. Students firmly believe in their school's supernatural legends. There's a story of a nun, one student says, that fell down the organ loft stairs and on her way down broke her neck and died. So the story is the organ loft is haunted. You can hear the organ playing sometimes late at night when no one's in the chapel, and when you enter, the music stops. They even say there's a cemented room on the third floor of Power where supposedly two nuns hung themselves, and sometimes you could hear noises coming from that room. They insist. Even members of Dominican security staff have fallen victim to the school's other side. DU security guard Mario Prowica admits he gets goosebumps going through the chapel or third floor fine arts. Similarly, Director of Security Tom Uraski admits to experiencing strange sensations while making his nightly rounds. I don't like fourth floor Lewis, he says. It's just weird and everybody hears something in fine arts. A common complaint among students is of a noise like howling wind coming from the fourth floor gallery, even when the windows are shut tight. Despite his occasional feelings of unease, Uraski is not deterred. Of course students have heard strange noises. It's a university. Doors open, windows open, but they're explainable, he says. Dominican's peculiarity has even spawned The Rosemary Bride, a May 2003 novel. In it, a skeleton is discovered, encased within a fireplace in then Rosary's old library. A murder mystery ensues that uses the school's labyrinth of underground tunnels and other campus settings as spooky backdrop. Although the book is a work of fiction, author Louisa Bueller said the supposed hauntings inspired her. I don't know if Dominican is haunted, said Bueller, who graduated from Rosary College in 1972. People swear they saw things, swore they heard things. A science major friend of mine swore toilets would flush when no one was there. But not being a resident, I wasn't immersed in that. I know what I conjured up in my imagination, but I don't have any solid information, she said. Sister Janet Welsh, promoter of mission integration, provided a short tale of the unexplained. Sister Welsh said that while staying in a room in Power Hall, a visiting Dominican sister felt a calm and soothing presence enter her room late one night. That's the beauty of the communion of the saints, Sister Welsh said, that those who have died are really alive, enjoying another life. Sister Welsh avoids the word haunted because she says it has a negative connotation. However, she does feel that belief in the supernatural helps us contemplate the mystery of life. After all, she said, God is supernatural. The presence of those who went before us are here. Is Dominican haunted? No, it's a holy place. To finally lay matters to rest, sorry for the tasteless pun, Dominican's archivist was asked her personal opinions regarding the hauntings. After all, if anything out of the ordinary is happening, surely DU's archivist would know. I think it's fun that students like to dream up this kind of stuff, she said. It seems to me that most ghosts are pretty happy in heaven and don't want to pester us. But lots of deceased people have been closely associated with this place. Perhaps the reason Sister Crapo hasn't uncovered Dominican's ghostly inhabitants is because she hasn't been looking in the right places. I have never found any such evidence of a haunting, Sister Jean said. I do not frequent dark places, attics, or basements at night, so perhaps I've missed something. For those who find it unfortunate that the hauntings are not entirely based in fact, or are they, there's one final thought. One death, an accidental one, was discovered in Dominican's archives. On Halloween 1929, an engine room assistant named Peter Ferrari was electrocuted in the cafeteria kitchen after having accidentally touched live electrical wires, thinking them to be harmless. He died instantly. Could DU's haunted hijinks be a result of Mr. Ferrari's untimely and undoubtedly painful death? That, kind listeners, is for you to decide.
Yeah, I don't know too much about the college or the university just because I've never been there, but I did do a little research. Doing some research, I found out that somebody else might have died.
Really?
Yeah, I guess. In the 70s, an art student, she brought her young daughter, when she used to go to classes, and the child she would skip around the halls and stairways, and in the Lewis Hall. And as she was in class, the young girl, she fell to her death in the staircase, and they brought in I guess stories going back and forth. Supposedly that happened. They brought a psychic, and they didn't tell the psychic what happened. She was walking around, and the psychic did confirm there's a presence of a young child.
No kidding.
But they couldn't find any records. It's just hearsay, just rumors.
Wow.
Really?
That's interesting. I did so much research into the stories about my own school, right? Mm-hmm. This story that I just talked about was actually published in many newspapers. It was picked up by the Pioneer Press around Halloween time, approximately 10, 11 years ago, and it wound up being published in, I don't know how many neighborhood newspapers, like the Oak Leaves, the Maple Leaves, things like that. Neighborhood newspapers, and I did a lot of research, and I never came across that. So that's great to know.
Yeah, and the psychic said that she was wearing a white dress.
There's that enduring woman in white.
Yeah, right? Like we always talk about, child in white,
That's great. That's a good story.
But they can't confirm or deny it. But it's just it was just a legend that happened, and they had a psychic come in, and the psychic, confirmed, how much you could that there was a child presence of a child ghost.
Wow.
And it, had a white dress. Yeah.
That's cool.
The most I've ever gotten from that school, because I've been there before, on different weird occasions. Funny enough, never with you, Jay. And
How did that happen?
And I knew you at the time, too. I remember when you went there.
Yeah.
I used to go there with my buddy Sean to play D&D in their... in one
Dungeons
of their
and Dragons.
Yes, Dungeons and Dragons. And their rec room or something. I did that once. I once went there with somebody who wanted to buy weed off someone for different reasons, but never for anything related to here. But I never experienced anything, but I always remember loving looking at it.
That is, I mean, it really is a beautiful case. Some of the best time in my life was, when I went to Dominican University. But did
So you met the weird guy too, then?
No,
Okay.
no. I was on the school newspaper and stuff. But did you happen to notice those busts I was talking about in Social Hall that literally have their faces shaved clean
I
off?
want one for my house.
I want to say
I'll take you
yes,
guys
but
there.
I
We
can't.
could easily
go
walk
bad.
in. I still,
Yeah, really.
I still keep in touch
I grew
with
up
my
around the area.
Yeah. And these faces, they adorn the archways, about 4 archways that lead out of, or into Social Hall. And right at the top of each, at the hump of the archways, there's 2 busts on each archway. And the faces are shaved right off.
Doesn't that? I mean, just imagining that in my head, it looks more demonic than
Exactly. And that was my whole point when I was interviewing this archivist. Like, don't you think that would draw more attention? She's like, no, they had to go. They were just too grotesque. But as the story goes...
And defacing a religious object.
Well, I don't know. I think they were like cherub faces almost or something like that at one time. I seen pictures back in the day of what they were. They weren't saints, but they were...
Still in a religious, institution.
Right. Yeah. And and it's just so creepy that the story goes that these things would curse at students just sitting in Social Hall trying to eat or be social, and these busts are sticking their tongue out and cursing at them and stuff and following them with their eyes as they would walk by. So they said, "It's got to go."
There's a few stories like that too, and this is local, right near there in the River Grove Cemetery, where they have all the Civil War monuments, the buried Civil War.
Oh, I remember that. Yes,
they have the statues, the concrete statues.
Yeah, way up there.
Yeah, and
20, 30 feet in the air.
Yeah, if you look, you can see their heads move back and forth.
A lot of Graceland Cemetery on North Side has legends like that where the statues actually leave their pedestals and run around the cemeteries, and they have.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No. I was thinking, it just reminded me of a Doctor Who episode.
Oh. There's a little girl statue encased in glass, and she said to, at certain nights you'll see a bunch of fog kind of gathering in this glass case that this little girl statue is in, and then suddenly she's gone.
We went there.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden she's gone. Fog disappears, she's gone. She's out running around the cemetery. Come sunrise, she's back to where she belongs.
Really?
Stories like that.
That's
So
cool.
Dominican is the same thing.
Either that or they have very creative people that are having crazy nightmares.
Yeah.
Ever since I was little, I've always got strong feelings from churches. I don't know if it's just because there's so much energy there. If it's just that pull of just so much people, and energy that it's like spirits are just drawn in. I don't know if there's just because it's just so much history.
So many people are looking for sanctuary.
Yeah, and they're looking for a religious experience, right?
Yes.
So their minds are open, they're accepting, they're willing, they want it. Makes sense that those spirits might be down
Are
there.
schools on the, if there's a list on top 10 types of buildings or structures that are quote-unquote haunted, how low is schools on that list?
I don't know. There's
You don't hear much about
You don't.
schools.
There's a few. I was just going to say there's a few kind of famous cases around the country.
There was a fire at my wife's grade school.
Yeah.
And that was actually out in Wicker Park, but there was a fire upstairs. A lot of kids died when they were younger, and that was really haunted.
What was the name of it?
I gotta ask.
Because there was a huge school fire here in Chicago that no one really likes to talk about. Cause it's
And then the
still,
Chicago fire.
And it's all
No, way after that.
I know.
but these were
Queen of Heaven.
religious.
Yeah. That we could cover that in another episode.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, Queen of Heaven. I think it's called Queen of Heaven is what it was. But surprisingly, having all these poor children perish there, not a single ghost story comes out of this location, which is kind of strange.
But also too, it's
funny how that's what we find strange, that there is no paranormal.
It was Our Lady of the Angels. Excuse me, Our Lady of the Angels.
Oh, the doors were built
fire.
the opposite way, so that's why they made doors push out rather than in.
You're exactly right.
Okay, I remember that. I heard that. Yeah.
92 people, 92 kids died, and a couple nuns. I think like three nuns died, and I think it was in 1958, December of 1958. Our Lady of Angels school fire. To this day, people don't like talking about it. That's how tragic it was, and surprisingly, no stories come out of that location. I don't even know what it is now, but
It might be nice to look into, like, check.
Yeah, it's just, how do you do it? You know, how do you do it? How do you ask? Who do you ask? I remember growing up, my mother was a waitress at a restaurant right at Cumberland and Lawrence Avenue, and she had a customer. Her name was Gail, and she was, just out of her mind. Always talking to herself, yelling at somebody, having conversations, talking about my friends this, my friends that, son of a bitch, and my friend and Bob, my friend, all the time. And it scared me when I was a kid. I was young, man, and she survived the fire and saw her friends die, and it
scarred her,
this spiral
traumatized,
of mental illness. So it's really touchy. It was horrible, but yeah, schools. You hear about them here and there. There's a few popular ones throughout the country, but not a concentrated thing.
Yeah, like obviously cemetery is number one probably, or churches maybe number one.
Yeah, cemetery, churches,
it's always
anything with history.
But the religious
the site of
institutions,
fires.
Even like, 'cause like when I had CCD, or it just not just churches, the schools. It just there's so much energy in these places.
How much do we feel time as a factor to make a place haunted, or is it right away? For example, let's say, God forbid, Dominican school or public school, whatever, has a terrible fire tomorrow. Next week we go there. Do we expect something?
Well, just to keep current with what we were talking about in the past episode.
Yeah.
We were talking about O'Hare Flight 191.
Right.
Immediately, things started happening. Almost instantly, they were getting the knocks on the door, seeing the bobbing lights in the vacant field. I don't think time has anything to do with it. I think the emotions exerted at the time of incident XYZ, the conditions surrounding incident XYZ, who was involved in incident XYZ, I think that's what matters over time.
Okay, cool.
Personally, that's what I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I think sometimes spirits don't know if they're dead. Sometimes it's a learned, like almost like a baby starting over. You start to establish and learn new skills.
Kind of like the video game you were talking about, how to learn to navigate through this new world.
And Patrick Swayze Ghost, where he's trying to push the cannon.
Oh, the pop bottle.
Funny, or scare the cat.
Bottle.
Yeah.
Funny enough is that there's this side missions where you see ghosts like in distress, standing in the corner. You go up and talk to them. They don't know what's going on. They're lost. They don't know if they're dead or they committed suicide. They don't know why. They forgot. And so you, as a detective, detective, you have to go find out why. So, for example, like this guy had a car accident. He blames himself. He thought he killed him and his friends in this horrible car accident. They were all drunk. And he goes back to the gas station where, after questioning him, he's like, "Oh, you were there." So, through the ghostly evidence left behind, he finds like a hand that was positioned to the gas pump at that time that night. And he finds out that this person was there and was witness to the fact that this guy did not drive the car that night and was able to free him so he can move on.
Man,
things like that.
We got to play this game. We'll play it on the podcast. No.
There are live
I'm gonna get it for my
playthroughs of
kid next
YouTube
week
we could
when
do.
he's
Yeah.
over.
But,
I might play it more than him.
so we don't get, spin off the rails here.
I actually
did
pulled
mention
up some things, too, about the school, some history on the school.
What did you find?
Yeah, well, I found out the school began in Wisconsin, okay?
Dominican did.
Yes.
Right?
Well, yeah, it started off as St. Clara College in 1848, but that was in Wisconsin, okay?
Cincinnati, Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, and then in 1901, it moved to River Forest, okay? 1922, it took the name as Rosary College.
Correct.
Okay. 1970, it went co-ed. And then 1997, it took the name Dominican University.
That's right, because it was an all-female institution for many, many, many years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good stuff.
1970 was a big year, huh?
Yeah.
And it's on a 30-acre wooded campus.
Yeah, it's huge.
Huge.
And it's beautiful.
Oh, I love walking through that thing, like in the spring or summer, or maybe in autumn. Not winter, but otherwise.
No, even late at night, going to class late at night and stuff.
Well, you know, me and night owl here.
Night owl. We all are, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said nightgown. I was like,
No, I was going to say night owl, then I realized I should just say owl, because night owls means that they're up in the daytime.
So I would have to take classes at night. And one of the, in the story I had written, one of the security directors talked about having really eerie feelings in the gallery, the fourth floor gallery, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was in Lewis Hall, if my memory serves. And he's right. That top floor, it would kind of convert it into an art gallery. Students would display their art. There'd be art shows up there. People from all over the country would come and see certain art exhibits and things. And walking through that gallery at night, leaving class, I was always the last one kind of stumbling out, It was extremely eerie, and I don't feel stuff very often, as everyone well knows listening to the show by now.
Yeah.
It's it has to be like a 12 for me to even be like, oh, something's here. Meanwhile, Dave's on the floor having a panic attack, hyperventilating,
Spazzing.
going into shock. Yeah, and I'm like, oh, is there something here? But I would always get these horrible, creepy feelings. I was being watched, followed up in that gallery. That I can attest to. And it's the vibe in that place. It's otherworldly. It's pious. It's a great campus. I encourage anyone to just go and take a walk. I hope one day my daughter comes to me and says, "Daddy, I'd like to go to Dominican University." It's a great school, and the vibe is just like no other.
it's just those Indian burial grounds and religious institutions, either a church or schools, the strongest feelings for some reason.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, possibly too. It's just because there people there. Maybe they're not disbelief, but they're questioning. Maybe they believe so much. It's just all that energy. There has to be a reason why there's so much energy there, and it's just so old. And religious artifacts.
Yeah, the reverence given at certain times every single day through prayer and you kind of hit the nail on the head when you talked about Indians. That river forest up until the 1830s was inhabited by the Ojibwa, the Menominee, and the Potawatomi. Think about the Menominee or the Ojibwa and the Potawatomi anyway over at Robinson Woods and what's going on over there now. Mm-hmm. So if Indians were there, there's a burial ground somewhere.
And how pissed off would you be? Everyone taking over your land. Your world's coming to an end.
We could get into that. That would be a whole.
I mean, that's a whole thing. That's a dissertation of stuff you're saying there.
This was, Joe, you pointed it out that this was Indian land up until the 1830s.
Mm-hmm.
So
this is our overlook. No, maybe not.
Overlook.
Yeah, hotel.
Oh, okay.
Our version of it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, sorry.
And another thing is,
and it's on the Des Plaines River. It's right off the Des Plaines River, rushing water. We know we've talked about that before. The energy it creates, and does that charge the spirit world?
Yeah, and all of dead bodies that must have flown through there.
Well, God knows what's happened on that riverbank over
Any
the past
river, honestly.
couple
I don't
hundred
trust
years.
no river.
I don't trust no river.
Exactly.
And it's you got your two different types of religions conflicting too, because the Indians, believed in earth,
Right.
And the Catholics,
The Christians,
Christians,
Catholics,
believe,
who knows what happened?
in Jesus, and God, and I mean maybe. I don't know. There's some weird stuff going on in the afterlife. We don't know.
Spiritual warfare.
Yeah, who knows?
And if you go down Division Street to Harlem Avenue, was it Division in Harlem? I believe so. It's called the Priory. It's another campus that Dominican has.
Yeah.
That's haunted as well. And actually, the basement of the Priory is the river. It's a river.
Really?
The pylons for this building, right in water. It's dark. It's black down there.
Wow. How far away is it from the main campus?
A couple blocks.
Do they like choosing haunted places?
I guess so. Okay. I don't know. I could Google it here real quick, the history of the Priory, but I was brought down there while I was researching this story, and they showed me, and it's water.
Really?
So there you go again. With
so weird.
With the water. There's a spring there somewhere. It's right under the building.
I mean, when it floods, does it flood or what?
Priory, think floods, but Dominican itself, as we mentioned in that story by Louisa Bueller, The Rosary Bride, she talks about this murder mystery unraveling that uses the tunnels underneath Dominican. There's tunnels underneath Dominican that connect buildings. So in the wintertime when it's raining, you never have to step foot out. Those always flood.
They built it, or is it mob related?
No, I think the university itself, I think, built it.
Okay.
But when you walk down there, I used to walk down there, and more for a macabre kind of experience.
Yeah. I want to go down there right now.
So they just connect.
They connect different buildings.
School buildings.
Yeah.
Other buildings in River Forest.
I don't know because I cannot say 100% that's a no because there are tons of doorways,
and we all know
areas.
what happened around there.
Right, mob, exactly, which we could talk
Prohibition
about.
era. They
we'll tell you a
through
little
there
bit.
too.
Yeah, so in these tunnels, they're very, to me, they felt very claustrophobic, old. They weren't dank or anything, but I remember the pattern on the floor was, I want to say it was a very small, kind of checkered, tiled pattern. It was kind of disorientating for me down there. But
I really want to go there.
In these tunnels, on the side of the walls, they call it storage areas, and there's quite a few of them. Now, where those storage areas
areas, catacombs, whatever, you know.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's what I feel like, catacombs.
Yeah.
Turn off the lights, and it's a freaking catacomb.
It's fucking ruins.
But who knows where those storage areas lead? You know, are there other doors that go to other places in the neighborhood? I couldn't tell you yes or no. But maybe that's something we could research one day and actually go there and experience this.
I'd love to, yeah.
But that does flood. And there was times when no one could go down there because they were supposedly flooded. So, Dominican University, man, it's a great place. That's my alma mater. It's spiritual. Haunted. There's that thread in my life again. It just doesn't go away. Matter of fact, where we're sitting right now recording at my office, Joe and Dave have had little experiences here. I'm not going to say what my company is, but completely modern office
it looks
space,
like
huge. And
there's a presence that comes and goes.
And there again,
you know what?
There's that thread in my life.
You can convert this office into like a police station, a convincing police station office, I think. I was looking at the layout.
Movies.
I was looking at the layout. You can do that. This could be like the cells and interrogation rooms. You could pull that off. I was just thinking about that. Anyway,
but it's really curious for me how this. I'm always encountered it for my whole life. You know, it's still happening.
If you know, it knows. It knows if you know.
Yeah. Something interesting about Dominican University I found through my research that Chris Columbus, the guy who directed Harry Potter 1 and 2, actually has ties to River Forest. His wife had ties, her family was from there, so he kept a house in River Forest.
Really?
And I always compared Hogwarts to Dominican. So I wonder,
yeah, because the guy directed the first two?
First two, correct. So I wonder cinematically if he was thinking something about Dominican University as he was putting some of the aesthetics together.
I mean, if only he knew how to direct
Hogwarts.
a film, that'd be great.
Don't knock Harry Potter, but I thought
I'm knocking him.
A little interesting. A lot of mob history there. Tony, Joe, do you want to talk about that part or? Well,
yeah. I mean, if you want, basically like in the early 20th century, like Tony Accardo.
Yeah, Joey Batters.
He was the boss from 1945, 1992.
Capone named Tony Accardo Joe Batters because of the way Tony Accardo would ball bat people to death. Joe Batters. Tony Accardo kept 2 houses there in River Forest.
Yeah, there's
Bats.
there's a lot of mob history.
Paul the Way to Rica,
and especially around
was right on Lathrop,
surrounding area.
Yep, in River Forest. Paul the Way to Rica was some say the actual power behind Capone, not Capone himself, but the Way to Rica. It's a theory.
Which
he was in River Forest.
Ran tunnels. You know how they started that.
Exactly. There's a wedding shop right off of North Avenue. Can't think of the side street. Down in the basement of the wedding shop, wedding gowns and wedding accessories.
What's the biggest front besides the church?
Yeah, right. Mob hits, supposedly happened down there in a sub-basement of a basement, right off of North Avenue in River Forest. A lot of money, a lot of old money.
One of my friends' houses.
Outfit
Remember
history.
that?
No, which one?
House?
Oh, with all the taxidermy and things?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So a lot of history there, too, with the outfit. River Forest, Illinois.
Yeah, there's a lot of inventors that resided out there. A lot of junk food. Yeah.
junk food inventors
Yeah.
in River Forest?
Yeah, yeah,
What?
like Nello Ferrera. He was the founder of Ferrera Pan Candy Company.
Oh, for a pun, sure.
Yeah, like Lemon Heads, Red Hots, Boston Baked Beans.
I love baked beans. You can't find baked beans
yeah, dude,
anymore.
I like them too. Oh man.
So that guy came from River Forest.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah. Edward Perkins, he invented Kool-Aid. James Dewar, he invented the Twinkie.
Twinkies were invented in River Forest.
Yeah.
Or at least
and then obviously like Franklin Clarence Mars, the Mars Bar, the Mars factory.
Wow. Oh, yeah. It used to be one on Oak Park Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I love smelling that area.
Yeah.
It's great.
My wife
Exciting.
used to live right there.
Yeah, River Forest.
I don't think it's there anymore, actually. I think it's gone.
No.
What about that in the
Is it still there? Okay.
Frank Lloyd house is there?
A lot of Frank Lloyd Wright homes. You're right. I used to live, it was in
the
Oak,
Wilso house, right?
in Oak Park. I lived in a condominium unit.
Mm-hmm.
That was our first home we bought after we got, before we got married, actually, and had kids. Tiny, but it was in a hot neighborhood, Oak Park, Illinois. And we lived in a Frank Lloyd Wright constructed condominium
way.
unit.
Oh, that's cool.
Bike tours and walking tours that go through Oak Park is very historic, very rich.
Yeah.
A lot of mafia.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of outfit was in Oak Park.
Yeah, hey,
Well, what kind of outfits?
Suits and ties and dresses.
in the sexy pants.
Sam Giancana, for example, lived and was clipped in Oak Park. So we live in Oak Park, and so they have walking tours of all the Frank Lloyd Wright homes and historic homes in Oak Park. And I remember when we first moved in, we had this big porch, big patio, beautiful patio out behind our condo, just for us. It belonged to us, and we're sitting out there. I was smoking and having coffee, talking to my wife. This is when I used to talk to my wife. And all of a sudden I hear all these voices out in front of my house, and I look over my stone wall, and there's this huge group of people standing there pointing at my building and stuff and, like, pointing at us. And, like, what the hell is going on? So I went out there, and I talked to the guy who seemed to be in charge. And he's like, oh, you're living in, a Frank Lloyd Wright built home and all this stuff, historic. I'm like, cool. So, my property value is going to go up, right? And it didn't. So... But that was kind of neat. So, yeah, Frank Lloyd Wright, absolutely.
It didn't.
That's awesome.
I hear that
You know
he's
what?
like the Christopher Nolan of architecture.
You remember wacky?
Yeah, no, because I used to know this guy. One of my friend's girlfriends, now ex, is architecture major, and she talked about it a little bit, and that's her inspiration, right? One of her inspirations. I think so, anyway. Maybe she hated him. I don't remember who she hated. And I remember she said something about that, and she described him that way to me. I'm not an architect. I have no clue how any of that works. But so if you're out there and you don't understand what architecture is and that guy, and if you understand that reference, then you're laughing right now, and you get the joke.
The one person in the world
one
right
person. Anyway, if you could write to us and let us know how that joke works, that would be great.
now. Submission at sos-radio.com.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, there was a guy. Well, the guy in Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was from River Forest too. I was reading.
No kidding.
No, wasn't there the guy from
MST3K.
Dave would have liked that one. Huh?
Yeah.
What about the guy from the Harry Potter movie?
Oh,
Or
we
no?
talked about Chris Columbus,
Yeah.
the director of the first and second Harry Potter movies.
Everyone else.
That'd be really cool. I hope he did have or find inspiration from Dominican for Hogwarts. And
Also Hogwarts looked. I want to say no, just because Hogwarts, the building in the movie looked kind of the same as the cover in the book.
All right, we'll just shatter all my dreams. Then.
I'm just saying that you're wrong.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
Essentially, I just say don't go. I don't think so.
We'll be back right after this.
In 1969, I killed a man of mine in a small Montana town. I was hunted down by hounds. Hear the nighthawks cry, their voices.
And we're back. That was Team Sleep. I love that song. Joey already turned me on to that song.
Yeah, pretty groovy.
Can't get that out of my mind.
Right, thank you. Yeah, actually, Deftones. They're coming out with a new CD.
Oh, so is that
Can't wait.
Deftones side band, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That was a great song.
Their side chick band.
Well, they had a female singer sing for that song. But yeah, that's I love that CD.
Great, cool.
I hope they record something in the future. But yeah, nice. No, but just speaking about religion, it made me think about this documentary I was watching where this reporter he was talking to a priest, and he asked him. Well, it's actually a priest from the Vatican. And he's asked him, so what do you think about aliens or life on other planets? And the priest sat for a second. He's like, well, honestly, he's like, I would think it'd be crazy to not believe in life on other planets.
And this was a Vatican priest.
Yeah. And he's like, because the Bible, it only speaks about life on this planet. He's like, but I would think it'd be crazy to believe that there would be life elsewhere. Which I thought that was pretty cool.
And very simple and very practical approach to that question.
Exactly. And I was thinking too, like, wow, well, besides NASA, who has the biggest telescopes? The Vatican.
Do they?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
No, I didn't know that.
That's what I'm waiting.
Oh, I thought
you guys didn't know that?
No,
I was like,
we did not know that punchline.
Really? Oh, no, yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Really?
Yeah, they have what's that? Not astrology. Well, yeah, astrology unit.
Astronomy.
Astronomy unit like with the biggest telescopes and
Wow, I had no idea.
Really?
Yeah, I swear to God.
So you think the Vatican knows something?
Of course they do.
Or at least they're looking.
I mean, imagine how much they know and they're not telling us.
Well, yeah,
Look at underground records of everything that they're hiding.
Well, they say, I don't know if anyone's ever heard of the deep web, the dark web, Mariana's Trench web. They say that the secret Vatican archives are stored in the deep, 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 dark underbelly bowels of the World Wide Web. Stuff that nobody has access to. Stuff that is not in the Vatican Library.
And, it's...
so who knows?
And they still scanned everything and put it on the internet?
The deep web, I definitely want to have a podcast. I've had experience, unexperience.
Mr. Robot stuff
with,
you're talking about.
The deep web.
Mm-hmm.
I will never, ever go back. I'll say it was a paranormal experience. Yes, I said it. I had a paranormal experience online. Another podcast, another day. It scared the shit out of me.
It's like Unfriended.
But they do say that the Mariana Trench, you could look it up, Google it, World Deep Web, contains these secret Vatican archives where nobody could get.
Well, I mean, and coming at, I guess, another angle, I mean, on the other side of it, if I was the Vatican and I knew all that, I mean, they could say, well, it's in the best interest of the people not to know this stuff, but, if they're trying to keep people online, why would they say anything,
Well, just admitting that there's aliens, what does that say about the singular being God?
Yeah, he didn't admit that there were. He just think it would be crazy not to believe.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, basically saying, there's probably
if aliens came down and greeted us, that would shatter every religion in the world.
Well, they say that's the only thing that would bring everyone together. Is if there was an alien invasion, that was the only thing that would unite all the cultures together.
Wow.
I forgot who said that, but it was some president.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know. That's
some
scary
president.
stuff. I don't like aliens.
Some president and a lot of science fiction books have said that.
Joe, I know aliens is kind of your forte, and hopefully one day we'll give you your own alien segment. Aliens scare me.
With the
more than
legal
ghosts.
aliens?
Is it because of how nothing you know of them? Is the idea that you have no clue, motivations,
no control,
how they look,
no
when, the where, the how they'll appear, if they ever do in your life, that kind of thing? Is that what the mystery of it scares you?
It's terrifying, and the Hollywood images freak me out as well.
Yeah,
I love Close Encounters of the Third Kind, the movie, but
just think about Paul then.
Me. Communion, Christopher Walken.
Oh, I was thinking Paul.
Paul, yeah, he's cute.
I'm saying he's cute. Think of that. You won't be so scared.
I'll smoke with Paul.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't like aliens. I don't like that. Yeah. I'll gladly let Joe have his own alien segment.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. I just, I think it fits in, with, I guess the psychicness or the clear sensitiveness, the whole supernatural, because I believe a lot of people that have some of these senses or powers could possibly be a little hybrid or have like a little DNA in them to be ultra sensitive. But we'll talk about that another time.
Yeah, that's certainly a theory that's out there, and that's a lot of people accept that theory. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah.
I think it has a lot.
I'm into the alien thing, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Me too. A lot of past cultures, like their beliefs, the star people, or I'll go in depth later.
Yeah. What was it? The Native Americans who called them the star people?
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. But you got all your cultures that believe the gods. I mean, they don't know how to explain things. It's just the god, the people from up above, could be referring to aliens. Also, too. You got your kings and queens in all these different regions of the earth, okay? But they have elongated skulls. Normal people have T-plates. These people didn't have that extra line on top. Their DNA was off a hair, okay? And they didn't have, their skulls weren't elongated because they wrapped things around them. They actually had a little bit different DNA, and they didn't. And there's no. It wasn't a defect where they had a missing T plate. They just did not have them.
I don't like this.
But you yeah.
It's okay.
But anyway, you got all these different cultures that really wouldn't know each other, believing in the same type of thing, all that had help from other people, hieroglyphics. It's just there's too much of a coincidence, but I truly believe that there's hybrids. Aliens or / angels, as they would call back then, interbred with humans.
What did you ask me?
I was going to just ask what your opinion is on this.
I think that's a mouthful. And I'm not ready. I don't know. Process that probably. I never really thought of it that way.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah.
What about? Since we're talking about this religion now, Mother Mary,
What about
the Virgin.
Yeah.
Okay. All of a sudden, she was pregnant.
Nope.
I'm just throwing it out
there. Getting back to the religious thing, and Dominican University, just to bring it full circle.
Full crop circle?
There's a professor of theology at Dominican. His name's Father Richard Woods. He actually, Joe, was a consultant for, drumroll please, The Exorcist. And has gotten to know quite personally, very closely, Peter Blatty, the author of The Exorcist. William Peter Blatty. Knows him personally, held consult on the movie The Exorcist, which was, of course, based off a true story. It's another weird tie-in.
Does he look like
and Dominican University?
Father Marin?
No, he doesn't.
Okay,
he doesn't look like Max von Sydow.
Did he ever talk about demons and?
I never pinned him down to. I didn't find out till later. After I left the college, that he was this consultant for the movie Exorcist, and that he was close personal friends with William Peter Blatty, who, Exorcist is my all-time favorite movie.
That movie scared the shit out of me.
It scared the shit out of me. It still scares me, but I love it. Captain Howdy, the Ouija board, the visceral effects, oh my God, and the stories that go. Maybe we should just have it. We're always talking. Maybe this, maybe that, maybe this for podcasts. Maybe we should just have a podcast about The Exorcist, because there's so many behind-the-scene stories, stuff that happened on the set. They said the set was possessed, and it's just another interesting tie to my alma mater, Dominican University. So, I don't know. What do you guys think?
I love that movie
cool.
too, man.
Yeah, because we could start talking about. They say that people that do get possessed were never possessed by an actual spirit that lived before.
Right.
It's an actual demon.
Yeah, a non-human entity.
Demon.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, with that thought, now I've got the willies. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, what?
No.
Nope.
And no.
Mine's will be just a simple reminder that if you are interested in the, not just paranormal though, in film, TV, and games, everything is opinionated on iTunes and Stitcher and so on, available. My podcast that I do on the side. If you're interested, get much more in-depth stuff on the stuff we already talked about, like for games and movies. So.
Excellent. Like The Witch, maybe The
Like The
Exorcist.
Witch, like Murdered Soul Suspect. That's my review next show, next 3 weeks from now. Yeah.
How long have you been doing that podcast? How
2
many
years.
2 years. How many episodes are you guys in?
We're on episode 107th.
Wow. It's
It's a bi-weekly podcast.
Oh, I see. This is our 10th, actually.
Yeah, this is our 10th.
This is our 10th. Nice, big round number.
Yes.
10.
Yeah. When 100 was actually, it started with the new year,
Wow.
which is so interesting.
And you're a New Year's baby.
And a New Year's baby, yeah. It's really, and the 100th episode was The Hateful Eight, which was great. It was a fun review. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Mr. Joe Erie, take us home.
Thanks, everyone, for listening to the SOS-radio.com podcast. Be sure to download our free mobile app by searching Supernatural Occurrence Studies on Google Play, Apple App Store, and Amazon App Store. Available now, live chat with members of SOS between 8 a.m. and 1 a.m. Central Time, 7 days a week on the SOS-radio.com website. While you're on SOS-radio.com, be sure to register for our free exclusive members-only social site and message board. You can always reach us at SOS-radio on Facebook, at Chicago Ghosts on Twitter, Jason Knight on Google+, that's Knight, N-H-Y-T-E. Our official YouTube channel is Chicago's own Supernatural Occurrence Studies. Email us at submissions@sos-radio.com or call 872-529-0SOS. That's 872-529-0767.
And as always, kind listeners, keep your head up, eyes open, and question everything.
Want to save your soul from hell, arriving on our range. Cowboy, change your ways today. Oh, with us you will ride at the devil's herd.
I know. I like music, but I get what you're saying. I understand the cut of your jib.
Although that jib, though.
That jib, though.
That's not a very good jib.
Why is that but that, though? Why is that always all over memes now?
Names?
Yeah, it's always like, and that, though.
And
that, T-H-O. It's always like,
oh, T-H-O.
like, and that, though. Like, they'll show a fucked up
lazy.
picture, and that, though.
Yeah.
That's like a new thing.
It's like a thing,
The Nina, the Pinta, the Santa Maria. Yeah, I could do it.
yeah, I can see that.
Ah,
Spiked up.
don't do it, please.
I'm gonna put everything.
Come on,
You done
man.
fucked up,
Come on, man.
You done fucked up?
Come on, man.
Nah, man.
Come on, man.
Your wife is gonna hear this.
So start thinking maybe for a song for this one. You know,
Yeah, I want to see how it...
Talking to the mic.
I am talking into the mic with my mouth hole open.
Did you get my text
It's
message?
a lot of mouth talking.
Yes, you are.
Dave's like Bozo's dick. I feel like I'm talking about Bozo's dick.
I always got the red one.
Yeah. What the fuck? Who says that shit?
Dave.
Yeah.
Oh,
He says some
You
crazy
know, you guys make it
shit,
worse
but
by
it's
laughing at him with
know.
his
But
jokes.
you know
I
what
guess
though?
That's how you make
Sometimes
it
it's
worse.
funny.
Sometimes it is
And it's
funny.
like, he comes up with some
No,
crazy
I know,
shit.
but I have discipline. I purposely don't laugh.
So you don't encourage his ass.
I don't want to encourage him. You're good.
Oscar, you're going to jump in today and talk and...
I'll say shit.
Okay, I'll say shit.
Joe, let's do your talk.
And then I will say, keep your head up. As always, kind listeners, keep your head up, eyes open, and question everything.
Except for that one thing, you know for sure.
Yeah, don't question that.
That one thing
Just
you'll
let
find.
it happen.
Yeah.
Just let it happen.
Let it happen.
It feels good. Just let it happen.
Well, it feels good, I think, after the fact.
Yeah, but I should. Do you want me to do the 2 C's and 2 R's? Because that's going to be in every single time.
No one knows how to fucking spell occurrence. Like, nobody knows that there's 2 C's and 2 R's.
Okay.
That's the only reason why I wrote it, because everyone gets it wrong.
So, are you going to have him spell out, or you could just say occurrence? That's 2 C's and 2 R's.
That.
Okay, that's good. I mean, I'm tempted to say no.
No what?
No to making him say that.
Don't say
because
two things to her.
because even though everyone's stupid overall, maybe it's better not to point that out.
That they're
Well,
stupid.
no, but like that's kind of like the whole
Let's not
thing.
draw
where it's like,
attention to their stupidity.
Yeah, people don't like that usually, and people are a little sensitive bitches. So
They're little.
I'm just
remember, boys and girls,
you know.
there's 2 C's and 2 R's. Howdy.
Yeehaw.
Now go fuck yourself.
Crazy. Oh God, I'm tired.
You tired?
I've been up since 6.
You want me to read
Fuck
this?
are you doing up
I had a class all day today. I had to be on.
All right, I'm gonna read this, right?
Yeah, just read it a couple times, get used to it. Let's see how it sounds. I mean, when I wrote it, it sounded fine in my head. It sounded like everything we needed.
Spoken like a true writer.
Yeah, right. Did you see, Oscar, that we are on YouTube now?
No, I did not see that.
What do you mean? I sent it in text like 1,000 times. You just shut our text off.
I mean, you guys text a lot of stupid shit.
All right, hey,
but I will check.
I'm just gonna read this because it's long, okay? Just so it's done.
Yeah, go read it.
We're going, right?
Yeah, but you don't have to get it on one shot. You know what I mean? If
No, I know.
Yeah.
But I'll try.
Okay.
All right. I have attached the file, and I also pasted. All right.
See, he reads the emails.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
fucking with you.
No, I know what he was doing.
Apple App Store and Amazon App Store. Remember, Occurrence is with 2 C's and 2 R's.
Fuck.
I'm not gonna do it. Right? Fuck it.
You don't have to, but you know what? I like the tone of your voice. It's very like, kind of like, it's almost like a little dark, deep kind of. It's kind of cool. Try to talk like, yeah, it was pretty cool.
You like it deep and dark?
You're an asshole.
remember, boys and girls.
Like Joe said, it only hurts if you like it.
No, you're only gay if you like it.
Oh,
Only hurts if you like it?
Yeah.
Think about that.
Thanks, everyone, for listening to SOS 529-0767.
as always, kind listeners.
Did you say your dick's out?
You're a real dick. What the fuck was that? You hateful son of a bitch.
You cocksucker.
You cracked me up.
Oscar, you cracked me up.
Howdy now.
It's just so blatantly obvious to me. I can't hear you and you're trying to sound good.
Did you want me to do that again or no?
No,
That
you're
was
fine.
good, okay.
So what should I do now?
No, but did he do it too quick? Where I should...
No, my mic was off,
No, I know,
so
but,
it didn't.
But I went.
I'll wait like 2 seconds and then say, as always, kind listeners, keep your head up with the mic on. As always, kind listeners, keep your head up, eyes open, and question everything. My God. I want to hear Oscar's, because that was just so mean. You bully.